Hey, hello, welcome to the second video for looking around corners using millimeter waves. So since the last video, the biggest obvious thing we did was make these references for setting up the system. You just use this to this piece here you put next to the mirror here, and then you put this here, and then at the other end of this one over here is where you put your object, and then this also has a 45-degree angle on it to help you line up the mirror. You know, your mirror surface, reflective surface, which would be that or whatever you're using. One thing we had to do was interesting. I'm gonna show the VNA. Okay, so here the VNA, we had to move it. It was, well, and it will still be when we're using the system, someone else is using it right now. It'll be right here, and then this system will be over here. We were having the transceiver point here and then bounce that way, but with that in the background, it was messing up the picture and it was all awful. So simple change, if we just move this to point that way, and now we put our object over here, and that gives us a much clearer picture. So you wanna, is that it?
So our future plans for next semester is we're gonna do different scenarios with non-life side images. We're gonna take images of the wood block, but with different materials, like drywall, ceiling tile, a door, and then we probably put a piece of glass like between here, so that to see how the images look through the glass, which is applicable for reality. And also, in the GUI from MATLAB right now, we only able to take square images, which is 20 by 20, 30 by 30. But now, for the future plan, we also want to modify a part of the code so that we can take images with any size, like 10 by 20, 20 by 30. And yeah, that's the plan for spring semester.
Hello, for those that don't remember, my name is Noah. I'm one half of the signal processing team working on the mirroring object identification. And the way I have discovered I want to do this is basically through edge detection, through MATLAB. And once I've figured that out, basically I started working on reshaping the matrix from the raw data that we have through the GUI. That took a little while. But now that I have the data exported and reshaped, I made a module to do that. I have now added edge detection into that module, and I can basically, what I've done so far is plot X and Y and Z, and I have slices of each of those through their subset because it's a 3D matrix, and then I run edge detection on those. So now what my problem is when I get the edge detection back, it looks all fuzzy, it doesn't look right, like there's no distinction of objects or anything like that. And the reason for that is before we plot it like regularly, they use the surf plot and then do interpolation and thresholding on that data. And that's not something I have done on the raw data yet, it's only through plotting. So basically my next steps in order to complete the mirror detector module basically are going to be thresholding the data and interpolating the data so that we have a decent size picture, and then we can run edge detection properly. I can get points as to where my max and minimum is, so I can tell the object reflection person, Steve, where he needs to reflect his objects from. So that's going to be basically my export of that, and that's all I'm going to be working on for next semester until we get everything done. We can test an online site and then implement it into the GUI itself.
Hi, my name is Steve. I'm part of the non-line of sight imaging system for terahertz wave, and my project is object identification, in which we separate the mirror from the reflected object. And I've been producing fake data in order to actually be able to do what we must to identify. And this fake data simulates the data that Noah will give me that already has the edge detection. That way I can just reflect it across the mirrors and we can decide how many mirrors we want. That's my part. Thank you so much.